Good
Oh,
morning, everybody, and welcome in. I'm with my great friend on YouTube Street. She is known as the Messy Homesteader, but she is now an author. Congratulations.
woo woo! Thank you, thank you.
Yes, and she goes by the name of Miss Ebony Jackson. So welcome in, welcome in.
Thank you, Miss T, for having me. And as we were saying backstage, I've been following you since you were sub 500 subscribers. You were trying to get monetized. So
Oh
I've
wow.
been following you for a while, and all of your guests, your shows, I've seen how you evolved, and your marketing game is on point. I've been watching you when you would have all the little stickers and the tags, everything. I was like, oh, she going somewhere with all of this marketing acumen.
I
So
am. I'm trying to market and network, and I see you're multitasking over there as well. Let me say hi to everybody before we get. We was already backstage just talking and talking.
this
Welcome.
might be a long one.
I had breakfast, so I'm okay. Did you eat breakfast?
No, usually I'm at the gym. Because once you get to a certain age, I'm a very seasoned Southern lady. Your breakfast, you drink. It's the concoction that you drink for life. That's what
Now
all
wait a
the
minute. Do
ladies
we
will
have the
tell you.
same Stanley? Do we have?
Well, see, I think mine's the knockout. You got the fancy,
Oh,
expensive one. Mine's from Home Goods. I just like the neutral color for fall.
I'm about to say. Now wait a minute. Now,
Yeah, this is
now let
my
me. That's hilarious. Let me say hi to everybody. Let us say hi to everybody.
mhm.
We have Kenneth Wilkinson and Jared Talks, Renaissance Grandma, Laura's Garden
Hi,
and
Renaissance
more.
Grandma. I know half these names over
I
from
know.
Lead Farmer and T-Nog and Homestead Heart.
Oh yeah.
Unbiased LLC. Yeah, I know all y'all.
You said
So
yep.
I'm
And
the Missy
Teagsy.
Homestead. I'm sorry.
Oh, and Teagsy as well. Another
No,
homesteader.
no, that name's not familiar unless you change your name, Teagues. But your family anyway, cousin anyway. But you guys, I was the messy, well, I still am the messy homesteader, but I have two YouTube channels. I'm kind of here for my other channel, the Homeschool Knockouts. But you guys know me from my homesteading, gardening channel, the messy homesteader. So if you guys are a little confused, sometimes I go on as one name or the other. So there you go.
I gotta make sure I connect to the other one, the homeschooler knockout.
So I sent you, like, in our private chat, I put a link to, oh no, that was to my website. I'll send you a link to the channel. The YouTube channel is just Homeschool Knockouts. And it is your go-to source for all things homeschooling advice, motivation, curriculum reviews, uh just just what's going on in the homeschool community. And I've been doing that for 7, 8 years, probably even longer than that. Now, I've been on hiatus for about a month or so because I've been trying to get my book out. But, now I'll get back out there and, put out, more content. And for the Messy Homesteader, my garden is dead. So
Oh,
I got to revive that.
R.I.P. to the garden. Remind the people where you live at again.
So I live just outside of Los Angeles. I'm in a little small community. We have our own mayor, our own school district. So, but I'm like a 10-minute drive before you hit like the border of LA proper. But I'm from Houston. So I was born and raised in the South. I grew up in Houston, but I
Mhm.
moved out to California. Ooh, 20, wait, 20, 2003. So 21 years. Oh, Lord, I've been here 21 years. Oh my God, I've lived here longer than I have in Texas.
Oh
All right, I
wow.
don't tell anybody that I'm still a Texan. I still cling to my Texas roots.
Okay. Now I do like motivational speaking and like okay, so a lot of people who are out here in this YouTube community are like they struggle because they work and they have family. And then I was
Mhm.
telling everybody because I told y'all I've been promoting this day, and you have a book, a newsletter, you're a mom. Like
Mhm.
tell everybody all your titles.
So I started homeschooling. My oldest is 18, so just about 15 years ago. And at the time, And let me just tell you, no matter what your situation is with homeschooling, whether you're a single parent, whether you're taking care of an aging parent and you got a whole bunch of kids, you're pregnant, whatever your situation, homeschooling is so vastly different than it was back in the day. You can do it. And I have so many testimonials. I have so many resources to help you do that. But I started 15 years ago, was still a little on the verge of being prehistoric homeschooling. We didn't have that many resources. At the time, I was in graduate school. I was in my last year of graduate school. I was pregnant with my third child, and my middle child was just diagnosed with autism. And then I started homeschooling like 2 months later. So it can be done. And which something I wish I had back then was just like someone to cut through all the red tape, telling you, girl, you don't need that. You only need this. Focus on being simple and just keeping it real simple, and just focus on your kids and you'll be fine. At least, you can write it out until you figure out, okay, this is my homeschooling style, or this is my teaching style. This is how my child learns. And so I had eventually three boys, all three different learning styles that I had to learn and I adapted to. And I go about that in my book. But all of those hats, being a mom, and then I started a business. I started an LLC. Actually, that was my third business because my first two businesses failed. So I'm a serial entrepreneur, but you always, you get back into it. And each time I learn a little bit more and a little bit more. So
Right.
when I decided to homeschool, and I don't know how many of you in the audience are homeschoolers or you're thinking about homeschooling. I know, like in our community, especially the homesteading community, we really like control, less government interference, and we really want to control what's being fed to our children. So I don't know if this is anyone interested in homeschooling, or maybe
Yeah.
you have a grandchild or you have a friend who might be interested in that.
Yeah. Let us know
Because
in the comment section.
yeah, because I would really like to see that, because I know where I live in California, it's a huge homeschooling community. I know Texas is huge. They have a huge Black homeschooling community. Atlanta is a huge one. And it is almost like going to a top private school, because you have so many different resources and access to so many different things for homeschooling. Like I have families, my best friend does this. Her children start college and middle school, and it's not really that hard. So by the time they graduate from high school, they pretty much have a degree, or they can transfer to like a 4-year university. There's just so many different options. But I know I'm all over the place, so Miss T, pull me back when you need
That's
to.
okay. Unbiased in Louisiana says she's considering homeschooling her grandchildren.
Oh,
So
hi, I'm biased. Yeah, I've been seeing you for years. And
unbiased is
so
everywhere.
and in my book right here, now this is a proof copy, y'all, which means it says not for resale, but when you get one, it won't have this bar on it. But you see, it's thick. It's over 400 pages. And I do address parents, I specifically say parents, grandparents, adoptive parents, those who are you're in charge of some child's education. And I give you a checklist, just how to get started, the very bare minimums, like how to get started the first day. What do you need for that first day? What do you need for that first week? And it's not a lot. It really is not a lot. You're just getting to, learn about your child. You're seeing, okay, am I pulling my child out of public school because there are some gaps going on? Is it because of bullying, but my child's okay academically? So you look at what your situation is, and then you move forward from that. So with you, Unbiased. Unbiased, if you don't mind, what state are you in?
Yeah, don't quote me, but I believe she's in Louisiana.
Okay, so you're in there with T-Nog, the New Orleans Gardener. So Louisiana, so each state kind of has their own set of rules. And again, in my book, I give you links where you can go and you can click on your state and you can see everything that they list. But For Louisiana, I think they kind of piggyback off of Texas, and Texas is pretty chill, pretty laid back. Is really easy to get started. So anyone who is interested in homeschooling, you can email me. You can reach me. Either you can go to my YouTube channel, Homeschool Knockouts, and I have a link on there where my email's on there. I can put it in the chat,
Okay.
and I can talk to you for free, because I want people who want to homeschool their kids to get started, because it's really easy. Don't pay all this money for consultations and stuff like that. Not in the beginning when you don't know the right questions to ask. So you can go to my website or you can go to my YouTube channel. Both are Homeschool Knockouts, and I will talk to you. We can do like a FaceTime on Instagram, just to kind of get you started, because I know, especially now, a lot of people are really, wanting to bite the bullet and jump in.
Okay. So the book is pretty much helping people who are considering homeschooling children, grandchildren, adopted children, things like that.
Right. So the reason why I wrote this book was because along the way, I learned, I mean, so many stories, so many tips, so many tricks. Now I have a master's. Remember, I was pregnant, and and then I had my child who was diagnosed. So I was getting my master's in education, the master's of science. And look, when I tell y'all can do anything, I was horrible in math growing up, horrible in math. And when I had to take when I was applying for my master's program, the program I really wanted had the science math component. And I didn't apply for a whole year because I was like, oh, Lord, I don't deal with, numbers. And so I got over my fears. And then the following year, I applied and got in. And it was only like 3 classes, like statistics and some other kind of things like that. And, but it really helped me to see, how. So I'm sorry, my master's is in education with a concentration in curriculum design and course development. And all that means is I can take a curriculum, put one together, or I can look at, an existing curriculum and see, okay, what are the flaws here? What are the good things about this? What is the pacing? All this kind of stuff. So with that information, I went ahead and was like, you know what? Let me put stuff together for new homeschoolers, veteran homeschoolers, because sometimes you start homeschooling, you like I did. I started messy and fast. I pulled my child out of school and we just went going. So I didn't have that much time to like take a couple months off to plan, do curriculum fairs, or look through magazines, or go to homeschool conventions. I had to get started. And so once I got started, I picked up some bad habits. I picked up or I didn't pick up certain habits. And so I had to kind of, debrief and deschool myself. So all of those things that happen, I put in my book. So when you get started, you see all the snakes coming your way, all the here, get this, here, do this. It's almost like, remember when you were pregnant, like for your first child, and everybody had an opinion about you're going to do natural childbirth, you're going to do assisted childbirth, you're going to do home birth, and then it was breastfeeding. There would be the shame, or there would be like the high five. Oh, you're, you gave birth in the woods in Appalachian mountains, and you're the best. So it's like that for homeschooling. People can be judgmental, and then you start to kind of get shaky with your foundation. And this book is humorous. So I don't know if you can see the title. This book is a humorous and practical guide. Now, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see my personality. I just tell it like it is. All those Pinterest pictures of all the perfect homeschool rooms. Y'all know, you gardeners, you go look at people's gardens. They have these huge 2-acre plus gardens, and they got all the vegetables here, the flowers, the cutting flowers section, the cottage. And you're like, well, I just got this 7x7 spot, concrete in the alleyway, down the street. And then your stuff could look more amazing and produce better food than, someone who has, all of this land and all of these resources, right? it's the same thing with homeschooling. You can do so much more with less. And so I talk about that, and it's in a real humorous, lighthearted manner, because that's how I roll. I'm like, look, if I can't laugh about it, then I'm in trouble. So I kind of take it, from that viewpoint.
Okay. Well, we do have a couple questions here. Unbiased wants to know how many children can you homeschool per one adult?
Now you have to remember, I'm biased, and I know you're in Louisiana. When you homeschool, I don't quote me on this because I don't know all the rules for all 50 states. But I believe in Louisiana, you can register as a private school. Like here in California, you have, so when you want to, okay, so say you want to homeschool, right? There, you have a number of options of how you homeschool. Now in California, you can be registered as a private school. It's called a PSA. And that means you do whatever you want. California, who is known to always be in your business, they're not in your business. It's very hands-off state. You can do something through a homeschool charter where you link up with like a quasi public private school, and then they kind of help you out. They have a little bit more oversight over your curriculum and things like that. Now, when it comes to choosing your homeschool like setup, if you're just basically, you can have as many kids to homeschool as much as you want. Now, if you're trying to be like a business where you're offering pods to families to homeschool, you might have some regulation. I know in California, it doesn't matter if you're a PSA or if you're well, you wouldn't really be a charter, but mainly a PSA. You can have 200 kids, so long as the neighbors aren't complaining. So it really doesn't matter. So if you wanted to either just homeschool your kids or your grandkids, you're fine. There's no limit. It's not like public school or private schools where it's like one teacher to 15 kids and that's the ratio. It really doesn't matter at all. Don't worry about that.
Now, I didn't know about Homeschool Knockout YouTube channel, but I do have your Messy Homesteader YouTube and email address. Where would they be able to purchase the book?
Okay, so I'll put the link. I don't know if links come up in the chat. I sent one to you privately. I'm gonna grab this one. So if you want to get my book, you can go straight. Listen, y'all be nice. So my book actually launched on election day, and it was not my fault. It was Amazon and if you're ever interested in writing a book, email me and I can walk you through it. I mean, it's a long process, but once I submitted my book to Amazon, Amazon holds it for approval for up to 72 hours. And they did the full 72 hours and it ended on election day. So I'm not really talking a lot about it just because people are still, in their feelings about the election and the result. So I've just been kind of mum. And then next week I'm going to like full court press with all of the advertising. But for Amazon, my book is live right now, and I'll put it in the chat. Don't know if it will.
I didn't see it in the private.
It's saying I can't join the chat. Oh, you know what? Hold on.
Well, there's a way.
StreamYard. I'm already on you, StreamYard. I just wanted to join the chat and it's like, no.
Okay. So let me see. While we're trying to figure that out, you also do a newsletter. Is that like on a weekly?
So, okay. So I just put it in our private chat, Miss T. If you could like copy that and maybe put it in the chat if you wanted to.
Okay, I don't even see it back here in the private.
Because we have 3 comments in there. I'll put it in again. Yeah. So, okay. So I'm sorry, y'all. I get to talking and I sometimes forget or skip over essential stuff. So I do have 2 channels and I have a newsletter. So my newsletter, if you go to my website, homeschoolknockouts.com, you'll see my newsletter is like the second little option right after my book. Now, when you go to my website or if you go to my YouTube channel, Homeschool Knockouts, I have a lot of freebies. as a matter of fact. So this is one of my freebies. It's a homeschool planner. Now I have a green screen, so you can't see some of the colors on here, but it's over 60 pages, and I have a black and white version coming out on Monday, but I'll still keep the colored version. And this one, I mean, if you're even remotely interested in homeschooling, I have calendars, I have schedules, I have, record your books, I have field trip planners, your daily lesson planner.
That's cool.
I have your weekly, those your weekly planners. Also on my website, I have a daily checklist. So let me show you. I have some more stuff. It's a lot. So it's free. And right now I just have the color version. But Monday, when I actually launch my website, I mean, it's up now. It's live now. There'll be more options. But right now, if you go to my YouTube channel, I have checklist. I just have this. There's a wealth of information there. Hold on, I think I have some versions here.
I love
Just
it.
so
I
you
love
can kind
it.
of get a feeling. Family planner meetings. Some of these are life skills as well. Games for your child. These are really easy games. These are things that I've designed as a curriculum specialist. Sight words, kindergarten, starting off with your kids in the beginning, so, and these are all free, by the way. So
That's for signing up to the newsletter, or how?
Right. So either way, so if you go to my website, you'll see the newsletter. You sign up through the newsletter, and then I'll send you like a password or a code, and that's to go to the resource library. And in that resource library, I have, I think, 30 or 40 printables or worksheets, things like this, that you can get for free. And then
okay, so I'm sorry. Unbiased wanted to know about the YouTube channel link. Are you able to put that in the private chat and I could drop it, or are you able to put it in the chat?
So for YouTube, it's just Homeschool Knockouts.
Let me see. Yeah, and so again, for the people, thank you for the 30 people in here. So a lot of us, we always talk about so many things in our life that we can't get our goals done. She's out here doing books, newsletters, all kinds of things. Yeah.
And listen, and I'm glad you said the goals, because that's another free a printable. We say printables, that just means worksheet. This is what really helped me. And now my version in the beginning was not pretty, and then I made it pretty for everybody else, but my stuff was all just barely hanging there. Let's see if I have it. So in my resource library, I have a goal tracker. It's very realistic, it's to the point, and that really helped me to do, it's like just essentials, 3 things a day. I don't know if any of you guys remember or know of Erin on Demand. She's a sister in Detroit. And if you were interested in starting YouTube, she was like, hey, this is how you get started with YouTube. This is how you grow it as a business. And oh my gosh, she's so phenomenal. She started this planner. It's called 3 Today or something like that. I don't even remember. And I think she had orders like over 50,000. And it was very simple. It was like, what are the 3 essential tasks you need to do each day? And what she reminded me of was Atomic Habits. And Atomic Habits, and this is why I say anybody can homeschool. If you can find glue sticks, if you can use scissors, you can homeschool. It's all about doing 1% a day. And then that whole year, you get up to 365% of your productivity. This is why this book is a bestseller. I always recommend people read this, because we sometimes get discouraged that we're not seeing any progress because it's so small. And right when we do a moonwalk from the finish line, that's just where that progress, the next level of progress is. And so one thing I talk about on my channel when I go live, I always start my channel with a win. Like I keep a bell here. And everyone, I tell them, hey, you come on in, you have, sorry, my bell is green, so you can't see it. And every win, someone has a testimonial and we shake the bell. And the reason why I do that is because people think wins are big. They think, oh, I was able to get this, or I made this. And sometimes your win is, my child only cried 2 times today versus 7. And I only cried 10 times today versus 20, or, my child figured out long division, one way of doing long division. So these are like little small things. And so once you start to recognize that and see it, you start to grow confident in your homeschooling, in your teaching, and also just like in your life. Like today, my win is going to be that I cannot get my tech stuff to work because I haven't been doing any YouTube, no content creator stuff for really a couple of months. I'm rusty. And as a content creator, when you're off and you get back on, you're like forgetting all the basic stuff you need to do. And I was like, Lord, then my son has this going on. And then we got a football game tonight. And the teacher, I saw this morning, because I'm up, a teacher emailed me. And I don't like getting emails from teachers because one of my sons is in public school. I don't like getting emails from teachers. So, I just wanted to what, let me just make this a wrap day. But, I'm here and I'm doing what I need to do. So that's like a little small win of, let me not have a negative mindset.
Right. I love how you said a win is a win, no matter how big or small, because some people be like,
right,
oh, there's more negative than positive. You got to focus sometimes on those wins. Those wins can build up and
their cells. Just think of it as little patches in a quilt. And those little patches over time, especially if you write them down, because you don't even realize, just like, you remember how they used to say, I think Susie Orman, I'm dating myself. And she was like the queen of track down all, in her little annoying voice, but I liked her. Track down all your little purchases. And then you start to see that you spend $200 a month on Starbucks, but the little $3, when it was $3, it didn't register to you. Or compound interest. You think 10%, every time you get money, you take away 10% to save. You're like, oh, that's really nothing. And then in 2 or 3 months, you're like, oh my God, I got a couple $100s, or I have this amount of money, because it was inconsequential to you, but it made a big impact over a short period of time, So it's the same things with these little wins. The fact that you can get up and get through a day where maybe your child understood one thing, but they struggle with some other things, but maybe they read their first chapter book, or they read a first paragraph, or better yet, my son, and I'll tell you more about my backstory with my kids. My youngest son, he hated writing and he had weak fine motor skills. So it literally took him a week to write one sentence. And we had to break it down. I'm like, okay, if we're going to do 3 words a day for this paragraph, but it's got to be the best 3 words ever in the world. And he was like, okay, I think I can do that. And so say if the sentence was, I want to ride bikes. And, I was like, okay, we got to make sure that is this a fly eye, or this, a raggedy eye? You just make it fun and everything. But it took him a week just, because he didn't have the strength, anything more than 2 or 3 words, and his hands were like cramping. It was a mess. But he got to a point where just a little bit a day, you set the bar low. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm so all over the place because I'm so excited, because I haven't been talking to people, because I've just been writing. If y'all don't do anything, I'm going to plug another book. And this is Marva Collins. Marva Collins. I'm going to ask the chat. Does anyone know who Marva Collins is? Especially if you're from Chicago. Familiar. Does anyone know who Marva Collins is? Let me grab the book so I can show you what I'm talking about. If you know who Miss Marva Collins is, please put it in the chat. I have all her books, but I want the book that has her picture on it. Now, Prince. Where's my book? Because I'm always opening it up and talking about it. Now, Prince. Oh, my goodness. Miss T.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if you can pull it up, maybe a picture from Amazon. This is one of her books. I'm probably looking right at it, and I don't see it. Anyway, so Marva Collins. Oh, here's a picture of her right here. She's like 5'10", 5'11". Now on YouTube right now, if you're considering homeschooling, this is the most inspirational movie ever. Marva Collins was a sister in the 70s and 80s, and she got a lot of flack for how she taught kids at her school. Meanwhile, her kids were doing the best in the inner city schools in Chicago. The administration, they didn't like that. So they kept giving her a lot of pushback. They didn't like her methods. And by the way, her methods are what private schools use. So Marva went and started her own school, and she had like a lot of drama, a lot of stuff going on, but she was famous. She was so famous that Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince, may he rest in peace because he's my most favorite artist of all time, in his song, in the video, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World, the last picture or the last woman that he shows, and he has all these beautiful video vixens and stuff like that. And they're like standing around, but the last woman he shows is sitting on this huge chair, it's almost like a throne, and it's Marva Collins. This is Prince, who, Prince likes his little Apollonia, vanity, that kind of look. He had Marva Collins as the most beautiful girl in the world. Her spirit was absolutely beautiful. She has 3 books out. This is, I think, her 3rd book. The first book is called The Marva Collins Way. And if you put that in YouTube, Marva Collins, this is how you spell her name right here. This is how you spell her name. She would take low-performing kids, kids with disabilities, kids with attitudes, the whole gumbo mix. And she would have them in the classroom, and she would have them at the whiteboard. And and then she did all grade level. It was the original schoolhouse. She would have the babies here. So they would study Shakespeare, for example. They would study Shakespeare, say amidst Romeo and Juliet. The babies would be doing, okay, well, Romeo had 1 apple and Juliet, or whatever, some ancient, porridge or something like that. So they're doing that, but they're still not hearing about the story. The middle school kids, elementary school kids would be talking about the history of commerce or something like that. And then the high school kids on the board would be doing, she did a Merchant in Venice, because she made it an economics lesson. And she had the high school kids talking about a bartering system. The middle school kids were talking about the evolution of the monetary system, and the little ones were more hands-on with rocks and stones and sticks as a form of bartering. At the beginning of the year, those kids, they can do anything. By the end of the year, when they took their standardized tests, they were a minimum 2-3 grade levels ahead. She was so famous. She was so well known. And school administrators hated her because she did it all in 1 year. And all the other schools, all the other teachers and administrators who were like, well, you got to have this kind of education, and you need this kind of curriculum and this, and their kids weren't performing. Marva, I think she had 6 books in her classroom. She didn't have all the little, the anchor charts. You know what a classroom looks like. It's got all that stuff on the wall and everything. She was bare bones. She just had a couple of books, and her kids would perform and blow everybody out of the water.
That is like awesome. So awesome. Now to your book.
Yes. She said they did make a movie about her. It's called The Marva Collins Way. The Marva Collins Story. It's free and it's on YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about, because I watch everything on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's the lick right there.
Do you see yourself writing more books in the future?
Okay, so we're gonna have to have a part 2. Okay, so when I was in graduate school, okay, child. Okay, how I got to California. Now, when I graduated college, I had a journalism degree because I was going to be the next Pam Oliver in sports. I was the sports director at my university, University of Texas, big football school, big football state. I started and I interned at the NBC station. I started seeing some things I kind of didn't really like. And so I was like, no, I don't think I want to go into journalism. So I said, I'll go to law school. So I got into law school in New York. But here's the thing, my tuition at Texas was $800 a semester.
Mm.
NYU in New York was at the time, remember, I'm dating myself. This was the 90s. It was $34,000. Even now, $34,000 is a lot. So back then, that was crazy expensive. And I didn't know if I wanted to do law because it was just, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So all my friends who didn't want to go into medicine or engineering, something definitive, they all just went to law school. But oh Lord, when I was seeing all the stuff they had to do, I was like, no. So I moved to New York and I rescinded my seat to law school and I got into acting, which is what I really wanted to do. But my mom was like, you can act on the weekends, but you're not going to major in it. So I moved to New York for that. And I did a lot of extra work. I did some plays. I was able to support myself in New York City for almost 5 years. Mainly I did a lot of extra work, but it paid well. And then then 9/11 happened, and right before then I had decided, because I'm a Sagittarius, so I really like to travel. I wanted to get out of the country again because I used to live out of the country. And so I applied for this program.
Everywhere.
Man, listen, I know y'all stay with me. I know I'm all over the place, but yeah, I just have this urge to go. That's why when I said I've been here for 21 years, I'm like, man, I can't remember. I just feel the urge to go, like Joni Mitchell says. So I got into this program through the State Department to teach English in foreign countries, mainly Japan. And so I went there for about a year. And then when I left there, that's a whole nother story why I had to leave in the middle of the night with my bag. So my brother-in-law wasn't going to cause an international incident. That's a story for another day. So when I was leaving, I didn't want to go back to New York because 9/11 had happened and things were crazy there. And I didn't want to go back to Texas. So my best friend was in California. And so she was like, well, just come here and figure it out. You can do some acting stuff. So I moved to California and I've been here ever since. Now, all that to say is that I had all these different stages of my life, all these things that I wanted to be. And right when I was thinking, you know what? I want to get back into writing. I've always done it on the side, but not formally. I met my husband and had a baby. So I was like, well, I'm not going to write. So let me just go to school. Let me just do something while I'm home with the kids. So long story short, I said every other year, I was going to write something and I never did. And so I am a retired homeschooler. So my last son, my youngest son, is in 8th grade and all my kids are in public school. They all played sports, and in California, if you play football, there is no private league team. So like if you did baseball or volleyball or soccer, a lot of times the clubs are better than the school. So you can homeschool and just do sports, but for football, you have to be in a public or private school to play, at least to play on teams that are eligible, NCAA eligible to go to NCAA schools. So that's where we are with that. But for the writing, I said, I'm a fiction girl. I like romantasy, romance, fantasy. I like science fiction. I like that stuff. But my knowledge is in homeschooling. So I wrote my homeschooling book. I have my next one coming out, which is Homeschooling Boys. That's going to drop, I think, in January. And then I have one that's called a Cope book. It is how to get from Monday to Friday in 15 days, because that's sometimes what you need to get through the week. You need more than 7 days. And then I'm going to switch over to fiction writing, which is really my first love. So all this to say, you guys, because I know I'm talking a lot, I am a particular age. I'm 7, so I cannot say my age, but I'll drop hints. I am a particular age, and I'm closer to Sorry, thought that was my son. I'm closer to the other side, to the other side than from birth. And I'm starting at this age. Okay. I'm 50. Okay. So I'm starting a new chapter in my life at this nice, ripe age. And and I say, no matter what your age is, no matter what your capabilities are, no matter what you have going on in your life, if you just do a little bit a day. It took me 2 years to do this because I was still
Mm.
homeschooling. I was still homeschooling. And and to put that in perspective, my other book I wrote in like 2 months. But it took
So
me two
this is
years.
not your first book. This is your second book?
No, this is my first book. I actually wrote this last year. This was
Oh.
supposed to be published last September 2023.
Oh.
But and that's why like I'm gonna have to do a class on book writing or book publishing, because I sent copies of this out and it was pirated. And that's pretty rare, but it does happen. And what happened was some of the people I have, when you're writing a book, you send copies of the book to people to read, to give you reviews or to give you feedback on your book. And you hope that that circle of people won't send your work everywhere or try to take it for their own. And that was my case. So it really delayed me. And, luckily I copyrighted everything. So my stuff was all legally sound, but it was just, the process, especially with the government, is slow. So, but yeah, it took me 2 years to do that. It was supposed to come out last year. And during that time, while I was going through the back and forth and then just making some changes to it, I just started on my second one. And it was so much easier. The writing is, it's long, but it's everything after you write the book takes a long time. It's the editing. It's trying to find a cover designer for your book. It's getting a proofreader, and then getting beta readers and arc readers, people to really make sure your book is nice and tight and succinct. And then the next phase, which is where I am, is the marketing. So it is a lot of work if you want to be successful at it, if you want to make that a career. Like right now, I've been rereading this book on writing because I want to write romance. So it's just little things, but it took 2 years because I would take a couple months off and then I would come back and I would work for like another month and then take 3 months off. And so it took a long time. But in the end, guys, and this is really what I want to tell you, whether it's homeschooling or it's life, no matter how many pit stops you take, so long as you keep going, you will get to the finish line. Had I just been like, you know what, I'm so tired, I don't even care about this subject anymore, I would be like the 2 million other people who start a book or who start homeschooling and then they just they let it fall by the wayside. They go back to school, or the manuscript sits in your drawer dusty with coffee stains on it. So
So Sunshine Film said that was a great story. You can start a new life whenever. And TZ said, nice. I want to start writing a book as well. Thank you so much, Ebony, for the words of encouragement.
Well, let me tell you, let me give you some sources, because every time I talk, I come with solutions. When I said I was going to take writing seriously, now I'm OCD and I'm an information hog. So I'll spend all my time collecting information. And in my mind, oh, I'm doing something, but I'm really procrastinating. But that works out for you, because the one person who was really instrumental in me getting going with my book, she was straight to the point, she was organized, and she was very simple and succinct, straight to the point. Let me put it, I want to put it in the chat. You know what, let me put it on the chat on my phone. It's Sarah Cannon and Bethany Adazonda. I don't know how you say her last name. Sarah Cannon. Okay, Sarah Cannon, she's an author, but she has her YouTube channel, lots of great information, and she has a lot of free information to get you going. And then Bethany, look, I'm plugging other people's stuff, but this if you're interested in writing a book, and you don't have to do anything now, just file it away. And when that one time you're feeling vulnerable and you're realizing, okay, let me tap into myself, pull her YouTube channel up, and oh my God, I feel like I'm old doing this. Bethany.
You're helping a lot of people out, because some people in the chat are saying yes because they are some serious procrastinators.
Oh my gosh, that is me. Look, okay, so my master's program. Well, hold on. I'm so ADHD. Okay, Bethany Adazonda. I'm trying to figure out. Let me do it on my computer, because for some reason I think I need bifocal contacts. Bethany.
Oh, okay. Rosette Davis said, "Love this. My godmother sent this link to me. I started homeschooling. Oh, I wasn't homeschooling until last year. Well, welcome in, Rosette. I appreciate you coming in. This is helping her out tremendously."
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. You know what? Sometimes it's just, if you can get through to one person. I'm sorry, I'm trying to reconnect to YouTube so I can actually join the chat from this screen versus my phone.
Okay.
Okay, it's saying I can join. Am I in? Oh, it lied to me. All right, I'm just going to type in here. All right, let me pull up her name. So this one, Bethany. Sorry, y'all. Just give me a second. Ada Zada. Okay, Ada Zada. Okay, so I put that in the chat. Now, Bethany has a book writing class. It's like $9 on Udemy. It is so worth it. Sometimes I think she dropped it down to like 99 cents, probably during the holidays. So you might want to go to Udemy, Udemy, and see if you can get that. But that was the one source that clicked for me. It might not click for you. You might need someone else. But those two ladies are the reason why I got to the finish line, because they were no fluff. Because the fluff, when you're consuming a lot of information, will make you procrastinate, and you'll keep doing research and looking at this and you get nothing done. But when you have little options and they say A, B, C, and you do ABC, there's no ABCD, 1A, 2A. You can focus and you can get it done. And that's what they do. And so that really, really helped me a lot. I wish I had some sisters that I can bring up, but their stuff was more complex. Good, but it didn't help me like sit down and get it done. So if you're interested in that, I definitely recommend those two ladies. And if you're for homeschoolers, because I'm not as active anymore because I'm retired, but there are I think I have a video where I list a lot of other homeschoolers that they're active now. And I try to get them from different states and different age groups, the real young mommies and then the older mature mommies like I was. And so I have so many videos. If you just go to the homepage and just type in I don't know. I don't even know what the title of those videos are. It's in there somewhere, but there is a list, and you can, use that, find the personality that, gels with you, and then hold on to that YouTuber, and hopefully she's consistent with her content, and you'll be fine. Now, when I was getting started, I had a number of sisters that I follow. A lot of them, their kids are older now. Oh, now their names are escaping me.
Uh-oh.
I think I have it on my website. Let me make a note, because I'm organized, y'all. I got my planner. I'm organized.
While you're doing that, let me do a quick little recap here. So the book is available on Amazon.com, Homeschool Knockouts. And how much is the book available for?
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you so much for saying that. I totally forgot. Look, this is my first book marketing interview, so I'm cutting my chops with Miss T with the T. So thank you for that. So the book is $18.99 because it's over 400 pages, but Amazon just released my book on election day, and if I change the price, it puts me in this waiting period for up to 72 hours. So I have changed the price to a promo price of $9.99, but you won't see it until usually after you put your book on Amazon. If you make a change, Amazon has to approve it. and it
Mhm.
takes up to 72 hours, right? But usually after you have your book published, sometimes it'll take like 12 hours. So what's today, Friday? So today or over the weekend, definitely on Monday, the book will be $9.99. So that's like the promo price. And then I'll put all that information on my YouTube channels and on my website. Hey, this is the promo price. I'll probably run it for a couple of weeks. So don't get it now. If you want, if you want to do $18.99, that means my royalty is higher. But if you want to wait till Monday, it will be discounted. Okay. So, hold on to your coins. Just wait till Monday and you can get it at a discount. But if you want a $9.99 kind of price, my ebook is up too on Amazon. I don't know if you want to read an ebook, on a Kindle. Like, I'm so old school. I have to have something tangible in my hand. But if you guys read, ebooks, then I think the ebook is $9.99. I don't even know the price of my book. I have so many price points because I have to do it internationally. And I'm like, okay, which price am I doing? I think it's $9.99. But either way, everything will be discounted over the weekend and definitely by Monday, depending on how soon Amazon approves my resubmission. So it's probably more information than you wanted to know.
Sunshine wants to know, can you speak to the publisher or the process of finding a publisher? And
Okay. So listen, I am my own publisher.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. So listen, y'all. Okay. Listen. As homesteaders, I don't know, Miss T, I don't know who your real base is, if they're mainly gardeners, homesteaders, or a little mix. But in the beginning, it was a lot of gardeners because we came over from Lead Farmers 73. Now, we like all of our rights. Now, here's the thing. Now, you know how the music industry is with the 360 deals? They do that in book publishing. They're all sharks, y'all. They're all sharks, just mafia sharks. Now, when you publish with like a traditional publisher like Random House, Simon Schuster, I used to work for St. Martin's Press in New York City in the historic Flatiron building. As a matter of fact, my first account as an account executive was Monica Lewinsky's book. Now, for y'all youngins, you don't know who Monica Lewinsky is, but for the old heads, she was the one that brought Bill Clinton down to his knees, quite literally. So her book was my first account. So I know how they get down, and I know how authors don't make a lot of money. As a matter of fact, the majority of authors for all these big 5 traditional publishing houses, they don't break even. So that means Random House has, say, 500 authors. 5 of them are superstars, like a Michelle Obama, some politician who dropped a book. They're celebrities. These book companies get the bulk of their money from the celebrities. The rest of the authors, the book companies don't get their advance back. So meaning, if you write a book and the book company, the book publisher says, I want your book, we're going to give you an advance of $100,000. 9.9 times out of 10, the book publisher is not recouping that money back from you. So it's like when you're an artist and the music company, the music label gives you $1 million advance. They charge you for everything, right? You don't think so. You just have this advance, and you realize you owe the record label money. That's why you got to go on tour to make the money back, because the money you make off the sales of the records is like pennies on the dollar. It's the same thing in the book industry. Most people make about 50 cents to $1 if you're lucky per book. That's why they always say, oh, $1 million. Sold $1 million. It's 1 million books. You know how you see that for the popular books, like the one I just showed you. 2 million copies sold. Look, over 1 million copies sold. That's a flex to tell people, okay, at minimum, I made $1 million, because hopefully I got the highest royalty split from the publishing company, which is $1. And so now I probably have $1 million, right? After taxes and stuff. So why so many people have gone self-publishing? Like, have y'all heard of David Goggins? He's that brother. He's known for let me pull up here. He's like he was a Navy SEAL, and he's always known for all his extreme running. And I'm going to show you. You guys know who I'm talking about. Well, David is self-published because they try to. Okay, it's him. They try to get him. Y'all know him? Remember him? I should show his book. He's an inspirational speaker. He's very, very famous. Well, they try to do the same thing with his book, and he said, I'm going to just self-publish because the splits are ridiculous. I'm not making a lot of money. And here's the thing, you don't control your book. That intellectual property that you created doesn't belong to you. So say you're a Democrat, you're a liberal, and your publisher is not, and you want to go to this college and take your book and talk about your book and everything, and you need 100 copies, the publisher could be like, we'll give you 10. And there's nothing you can do about it. They own the rights. You control it, but they own the rights. You own the right. You own the rights. They control it, which means nothing if you can't control it. They can decide to print however many books they want or not print your book, and you can't do anything about it based on your standard contract. So all that to say, so I am my own publishing company. Now, remember the company I told you I started back in the day after the 2 failed companies? Okay, so when I decided I can do something with this homeschool stuff, I created a company. I created an LLC. Now, from that, I created an imprint. An imprint is just another word, Golden Compass Books. Don't go to the website yet, y'all, because I'm still designing it. I designed everything, so don't check anything until Monday. But with an imprint is just a subsection of a bigger company. So think of Amazon, and then you have Amazon Fresh, and then you have Amazon Books, and then Amazon what else they got? Amazon got so much stuff. So it's like a little subset of a bigger company, and it doesn't cost much at all, and that allows you to get into libraries. It allows you to get into bookstores. You have to have that to be able to get into those entities, and from there, the sky is the limit. It cost me $25 to get, and I'm in California where everything is super expensive. It was $25 because you have to put in a newspaper that you have this company. It was $25 to do that, and that was it. And so now I am an imprint. I am my own publisher. And so I have all the full rights that a regular publisher has. I have full control of my intellectual property. I can negotiate with the Barnes and Nobles. I can negotiate with small bookstores. And so when they do an order, it goes, I'm in charge of like, okay, I want this many copies, or if they return the books, this is my policy on how I deal with book returns. Probably more information than you want to know. But whoever asked that question, that was a great question, because you definitely want to self-publish to retain all the rights. And listen, when you self-publish, your royalty split with Amazon or Walmart or Target, which my book will be there in a couple of weeks, your royalty split is higher. You cut out the middleman.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
thank you, Tobias. I'm reading the
that's cool. They want to know your are you able to drop the link on Amazon, your book? Because I was trying to find it and it won't let me
when you click the link, nothing happens.
Let me try again.
Here. No, hold on. I'm gonna let me drop it on my phone.
Up here. Sorry.
Let me just drop it on my phone so then I can
okay.
All right, so let me get this, copy, and let me go here. Okay, let's see if I can drop it here. Okay.
I'll drop it as well. There we go.
Okay, so I just put it in the chat. Oh, I'm logged in with one of my clandestine names.
I seen that. And then want to remind us again, how do you sign up for the newsletter?
So for the newsletter, just go to my website, Homeschool Knockouts. And can I share my screen on here? I think, let me see if it will let me share my screen. Can I share my screen for a
Sure,
second?
absolutely.
Okay, let me see.
Thank everybody so much for being here. Thank you, Unbiased, for all your help, and thank everybody for the questions.
I know, Unbiased. You had a couple of things going on back in the day. Oh, it's denying me. Because remember now, I haven't been on in a long time, and so it's saying I have to reset my security stuff. What? Okay. All right, now
Like
I'm
you said,
locked
the
up.
website is under construction at the moment.
Which one?
Your website.
No, it's up and going. Let me see what it's looking like for you guys.
Is it www.homeschoolknockouts?
Yeah, .com.
Okay, and that's where to sign up for the free newsletters.
Yeah, so it's saying, I'm sorry, because I'm logged into WordPress. I'm on the back end, so it keeps showing that. So when you go to homeschoolknockouts.com, it's not showing anything.
Well, I was trying to find the book on Amazon, like by myself, versus like the link you sent.
Oh yeah. So, and here's a note for new authors, new published authors. The first 30 days, Amazon treats you like a really sedity girl, with the nerd guy, like no attention. And then once you start getting sales and reviews, then Amazon really starts to push your book out. So since my book went live on election day, I knew nothing was really going to happen because so much was going on. So you really want to go to the direct link. That way my book won't be on like page 2 or 3. So did the link because I gave the actual link in the chat.
Yeah, Unbiased said it did work.
It did? Okay. Excellent. Okay. So what I'll do when I get off live with you guys, I'll check my website and see what's going on. That's not good and not professional. I apologize for that. But I will have that fix and rectify today. So, but you can always go to my YouTube channel, Homeschool Knockouts, and it's just Homeschool Knockouts. And in the little information section, you'll have all the information, all kinds of things you can click on to get free stuff. And what I'll do, I'll go to my YouTube channel and put that in the community section. Let's see if it'll let me do that. Yeah.
While you're doing that, a lot of people said they did greatly enjoy this. Definitely we'll have to do like a round 2, like you said.
Sunshine says show the book again. So this is the proof copy. Sunshine, what you'll see and get won't have this not for resale. This is really for me to look for mistakes, images, upside down, because printing actually is not always consistent. So this is what it looks like. And then this is the back, and it's a lot of information. It's a lot of information. Come on.
Tampa, what link do you want? I can try to drop it, or she can drop it. Do you want the Amazon link to the book, her website, or do you want the
do the Amazon link? Because I need the sales. So do the Amazon link.
And Unbiased was saying earlier, if you guys would just heart the go to the Amazon link and heart it, it'll add it up. Like I forgot what she said. It'll help boost it up. She said it a while ago.
Okay. And then someone asked about David Goggins, LGGG. I think someone answered you. Yeah, but that's how you spell it if you're asking the spelling. Yeah, David Goggins. He's got some amazing books. I forget, but he's wearing his naval uniform. Very handsome guy, and he's been on like Joe Rogan, all the major shows. He's really all about discipline and overcoming, your doubts, your fears. He was like overweight, 200 pounds. And, for Navy SEALs, you have to be the best shape. You're the best of the best, and you got to swim. And he was able to overcome that. And he's pretty badass. Let's see.
Hey, Aunt Dale, how you doing? I believe Aunt Dale's let me know if I'm right or wrong. She's in the process of writing a book, I believe, or starting a business venture. So much love to you and support.
Wait, this is Aunt Dale who's doing that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, and you know what? I'm going to contact you because I've been following you for because I saw you on Lit Farmers. I think I've been following you for like 6 years or 5 years. If you're interested, I'm having problems, but you can I have my email on my YouTube channel, Homeschool Knockouts, but I'm subscribed to you. Let me make a note. I'll reach out to you and I'll just show you, just the things that I did to help you get started. And Dale, are you still doing your weekly lives, Anne? Because I haven't been on much social media the past year, just trying to get my stuff together. But
she actually going live today at
congratulations.
12 o'clock. Yeah.
Huh?
She's actually said she's going live at 12 o'clock.
Okay. Wait. Ann Dell, did you change your name to Ann's Place?
No,
it's no, it's Ann's Place saying hi. Okay. Yeah, you go live at 12. Okay. Yeah, that's wonderful. And Miss T, you got enough stories in you to write a book. Everyone can, y'all. There is this YouTuber, I forget her name, but she's fairly new, and she went viral for one video that said, if you're over 40, no, she said, if you're over 50, get in here. And she's like in her 20s. And she was like, you have a story to tell. She was like, I was looking at all the videos that I'm watching, and all the women are over 40, and I'm listening to them. And I'm like, they have all these wonderful stories to tell, but they're not really consistent. They just kind of come on and come off. And she was like, I want to know more about you and what's going on. So everyone has a story to tell and a book in them. So Miss T, you got a book in you. And, just kind of jot some little notes down or put it on a little, record it on audio or something like that before you go to bed. And bam, you got a book. And you especially like for music, how they talk about having a back catalog, like Prince, Michael Jackson, they had all these catalogs. Michael Jackson bought the Beatles catalog. Well, it's the same thing for books. And for some reason, once you hit around 5 books, you really start to make some really good money. It's something, I think maybe it's people feel like you're an authority because you have more than one book, because most people would like to write a book, but they don't. So they're kind of like impressed that you were able to do it. And then if you do it over and over and over again, there's that kind of, And so in Amazon, like all these courses and boot camps I've been on, they tell you just try to get to 3 books, even if the second and third book are like 50 pages or 75 pages. But psychologically, people buy more when they see you have more than one book. And see, you can do your book in stages of life. You can do it as a mom. You can do it as your as a content creator. Any little interest that you have, or maybe you want to do fiction. There are so many avenues where you can park yourself and really do well for yourself. And especially you, Miss T, because I see you going far with being a content creator. You can definitely have a lot of books and then spin that into online courses. I mean, that's a great way for us, as we get older, to have that income coming in, and not having to go out into the workforce, but being able to work when we're much older on our own terms.
Absolutely. That is definitely the goal. So I know you said this a couple minutes ago that you haven't really been on social media and stuff like that lately. Do you see yourself going back to the other YouTube channel, The Messy Homesteader?
You know what? I had this talk with my girlfriend, because as much as I've loved homeschooling, and I homeschooled 3 boys for about 15 years, I'm tired. When I was pregnant and my son was diagnosed, I said, okay, I'm dropping everything and this is my focus. And I put everything else aside. And so over the years, I would like peek over the fence. Oh, well, she wrote that book. Oh, this was a good book that I read, and thinking that could be me. And I was tired of saying that. I was like, girl, if you started this like 5 years ago, where would you be now? I was always saying that every December. I was like, man, if I just written like 100 words a day, I would have a book by now. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but over the course of a year, if my lazy butt just did 100 words, just like 2 paragraphs. Okay, maybe do 1 paragraph. I would have something at the end of the year. And so I would beat myself up because I wasn't being true to myself and giving myself a chance to do something that I really liked. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I that's my focus. And I was like, when I was getting closer to 50, I was like, no, I got to start dropping those seeds now, just a little bit at a time. But let me tell you, because look, the day my book dropped, I had 3 emergencies, 2 the night before, 1 the day of. I'm like, you can't win. It's like there's always some kind of force. It's that pendulum. I don't know if you are familiar with the 7 hermetic laws, where one of them is like it's the law of rhythm. So you know how when you're always in a bad mood and then more bad things happen and you just keep pulling it to you, you got to get a little spark of something positive to help swing that pendulum from all the bad stuff happening to now good stuff happening. And so I was seeing, me being depressed every December, which is my birthday month, and
Hey,
seeing
now wait
that
a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm a
September
Sag.
what?
I'm a late Sag. I'm December 19th. I
Oh,
just made it. Look, I'm like,
okay.
I just made it. Are you a
Okay.
Sag?
No, I thought you said September. My bad. I was about to say
Oh, no.
September.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you were earlier.
No,
But
Virgo.
I was my son's a Virgo. But I was every year I was saying I was feeling down because all I had to do was like 1%, and I didn't have to be consistent. And I was like, my life could be different right now had I just done 1%. I wouldn't even miss it. It would be like okay, listen, when I used to teach in Japan, let me tell y'all a story. And I don't know how long you're gonna go, Miss T. So if you need to cut me
About
off,
20
go
more
ahead.
minutes. Okay.
Okay. So I was teaching in Japan, and I was in a poor fishing village off the coast of Japan in the South China Seas. And the one thing I noticed was, and these kids were smart, but they weren't just naturally smart. They just had amazing habits. And I was in a village, so it's kind of different. The school had like a total of 75 kids. It was very small. But the one thing I noticed was the teachers can beat the students. So like when I was in the program, all the administrators were like, okay, now when you go into these schools, don't be surprised if a student takes more than 5 seconds to answer, if the teacher boxes their ears or pushes their head or grabs their collar because they took too long to answer. And they're like,
wow.
and it's perfectly okay. The teachers are gods there. They rule. That's how you can have high test scores and all this high achievement with the fear of the fist right in front of you. And I saw it one time, and the student had glasses on and he was late to answer, and then the answer was wrong, and then the teacher went boop, and the glasses flew off, and he was like, I'm sorry, grabbed his glasses, put them on, and was like, but it works for them. But when I was there, I talked to all the parents because everybody wanted to hang out at my house, and the unifying thing was that at the same time, every day for 20 minutes, they all did English because I was an English teacher. It was almost like when we were growing up, when the Cosby Show came on, 7:00 Central Time, or 9:00, 8:00, whatever. But everyone at that same time for that 1 hour, 30 minutes, everybody was doing the same thing at the same time. It was a collective consciousness. It was the same thing in Japan, at least on our village. Everyone did the same thing at the same time for about the same amount of time, depending on the age of the child. And it was success. And it was like little small wins. It was small wins. Even if you didn't learn that much, your mind psychologically, here's a great book to get. It's Carol Dweck. It's called Mindset. Now it's all the rage. She wrote the book, I think, in the 80s. And I got to do a better job of keeping my books in arm's reach. Oh my goodness. You know what? Oh, because I'm prepping my next YouTube video, and I have all my inspirational books. Okay, anyway, Carol Dweck, she talks about mindset, a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And so even when you're just sitting there and maybe you're not grasping everything, but the fact that you sat there and did it psychologically, it releases these endorphins that makes you want to do more. Just like when you work out or when you're eating healthy, you know, those endorphins are released because you did something for yourself. It's the same thing when you just sit your behind down or whatever it is you're trying to do. You just trick yourself. Even if you just do it for 10 minutes and you just don't like it, your mind doesn't get that memo. Your mind gets the memo that, oh, she sat down and she started doing something. Okay, let's release these endorphins to encourage her to do it again when she starts to think about it. So there's a whole science behind it. And in Atomic Habits, he talks about the science of tricking yourself psychologically. And I'll leave you with this one little trick. I've been able to maintain my body weight my entire adult life. And one of the tricks that I've done when I overeat and I just binge, and I'm like, oh man, let me start this diet. But then at 9 o'clock in the morning, I didn't had all kinds of pancakes, carb heavy stuff. Oh man, I didn't blow my diet. Now, a regular person would be like, oh, well, I'm done for the day. I might as well just start tomorrow at 9 o'clock. But this is how you trick yourself. You say, okay, my day ended at 9 o'clock in the morning. At 9:05 or 9:30, it's the new day. So I'm already on my new day now. So okay, I just ate all these sausages. I'm like, oh Lord, I done messed up. Okay. Now, instead of starting tomorrow at 9 o'clock, your new 9 o'clock is in 5 minutes. And now you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, not eating or whatever it is you're trying not to do. And when tomorrow comes, you're already 18, 19 hours into doing what you were supposed to be doing versus, well, let me go ahead and eat everything else for the rest of the day and really blow my diet. So psychologically, your mind doesn't think, oh, well, I've messed up for the whole day. Your mind thinks, oh, we're starting. This is the new day now. I'm telling you, it really works. I've been in pageants growing up, I've been in fitness competitions for ESPN. I'm telling you, it works. So, ladies, especially, we're going into the holiday season. You had good intentions. As soon as that bad intention is done, the clock starts immediately. Don't start the next day. Don't start on Monday. Don't start on the weekend. Start immediately the next 5 minutes. And now it's your new day. And 6-7 hours later, you'll think, oh, I did do well today. It's up here. I'm telling you, it gets you every time. You trick yourself. So I hope I explained that well. The short end of it is you mess up. 5 minutes later, reset and start the clock then. Don't wait till the next day.
Amen. I like how well, first of all, Tampa's Creek came in here. She has her granddaughter with her. So I don't know if you caught it. She has the guest here. Oh, here, Ebony. She has a website with a newsletter with goodies and tricks, for to help with homeschooling and things like that. So I can send you that information.
Yes,
And
everyone, probably the best thing right now, if you go to my YouTube channel, Homeschool Knockouts, I have all the links in there that will take you everywhere. And later today, I'll be in the community section and I'll put updated stuff with the book information and all of that. But that will be your go-to source to get information. I don't know what's going on with my website, but that will definitely be fixed later tonight, if not this weekend. But just remember Homeschool Knockouts. .com or just Homeschool Knockouts for YouTube, and you'll be able to find me. And you can always send me a DM. I'm homeschool_knockouts on IG if you want to DM me. Homeschool Knockouts on Facebook, or I think I'm that Homeschool Life, but it should take you to Homeschool Knockouts. So I'm easy to find. And I definitely want to come back for another round. Like maybe we can talk about, if you want to write a book, if you want to start a new chapter, in your life, how do you get started? There's just so many things, especially for women as we get older. We just want to kind of band and get our resources together and encourage one another. And just, we all have stories to tell.
Right. Well, Well, thank you again for coming. She did say no later than Monday. Well, right now the book is on Amazon for $18.99, but if you just hold off, you want to save a coin, by Monday the latest, it should be down to $9.99.
Yes, and I'll put a notice out as soon as it goes live on Amazon. It might even be tonight. As soon as it goes live, if you go to my YouTube channel, I will be updating. Go to the community section, and I will put updates on there as soon as the price thing is approved by Amazon. I will put that out there, and you can go get it, or you can get it now. But if you want to wait until later, that's fine as well. Miss T, I thank you so much for letting me come on here and just talk and talk and talk.
Oh, not a problem, Al. Not a problem. We are always over here trying to find somebody, like starting a new venture in life and trying to promote it and things like that. So I'm glad when we connected and you was like, hey, I got a book coming out. I was like, well, let's do this. Let's let the people know.
And okay, here's a tidbit. So with Amazon, this is how they treat people. Now, remember, I kept telling you, I'm waiting for my book to come because I ordered an author copy. An author copy is a cheap version of your book. You're only paying the shipping costs and the printing costs. Now, because it's cheaper, Amazon kind of discourages you from ordering a lot of those because Amazon's making no money off of it. So what you have to do, as I found out from my writers group, is you have to just order it as if you were, a customer. And then it comes in like with Prime. So my book will probably be in tonight because I just bought it as, a customer. But your copy, which is the author copy, I will make sure when it comes in, I will mail that to you. And isn't your email, your mailing address on your YouTube channel?
It is.
Yeah, I thought I saw it. And I'll send that to you. And also, I wanted to do a giveaway of my book. That's why I do have to come back. I definitely want to do a giveaway of my book. And we can talk later if you want about doing that. I can just give it to you. You can just do it on your end.
However you want to do it. Either we could do it now. I have the StreamYard giveaway tool, or if you wanted to mail me an extra book, I can do it here, or however you would like to do it.
Whatever's easiest for you, because I know it'll be more work on your end. So if you want to do it now and then wait for me to mail it to you, or if you want me to on my end, I can mail it to the person. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, we could do this then. So the book's not here yet, but when it does, her email. Okay, so her email is in the description right now. So we could do the StreamYard giveaway tool. Put a 1 in the chat if you would like to do it now. We could see who can win, and then just email her your information. And yeah, how does that sound? Oh, that sound good to you?
I know LGG. She is the talker. she did the Joe Rogan. She did the Joe Rogan because Joe always sits there and lets his guests talk.
That is okay. Because usually like that, like when I talk to some people, they'll be short, and then I'll be like, okay, well, let me think of some more questions to ask. But I didn't have to do that this time. So
she was on her. We got to give you a pet name. I know Miss T, but it's like a Joe Rogan. You look at Joe Rogan version because he's notorious for just sitting there and just letting his guests talk.
I'm behind the scenes right now setting up the StreamYard giveaway tool because I see a lot of ones. So bear with me real quick. We still got about 10-15 minutes.
I'm going to put my email.
Thank everybody again. Okay.
So I'm going to put my email in the chat, guys. Okay. Did you see that website I told you about? What did you think about it? If you saw it. I saw it on someone's YouTube channel. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. Let's see. Ad.com. All right. So everyone in the chat.
Internet is going so slow.
Okay, I put my email in the chat. Now, I have on my regular contacts. Apparently, I need bifocal contacts because I can't see up close. But I think homeschoolknockouts.com. Okay, so I put my email in the chat. It's hi at Homeschool Knockout. So you have any questions, if there's anything happening on the website or on the YouTube channel. If you can't download something or whatever, just send me an email, and I'm very responsive, and I'll take care of that quickly. Okay.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think I might need to contact bifocals as well, because sometimes I'll be looking at stuff in my contacts and I'm like,
Well, they have them, and I had a sample, and I didn't like it because I literally was looking like my mom, because you have to, like, you know how old people, they kind of do this. You have to do that with the bifocals, because the strength is like, the high strength is up here, then the lower strength is here, or vice versa. So you have to do this to read closer, and then this to like read further away. And so you literally look like an old person. I'm like, I had to do this, or I had to do this. I'm like, what's the point? I'll just get glasses. So
right.
but that was
See.
ActiveView, Optus something. I didn't like them. It was really confusing how you had to move your head, but you might find a different brand. Look at me, I'm just putting on perfume, smell goods off. But it was not good. And now I can't see. I'm back to my regular contacts, and now I just can't see. I don't see the email address in the chat, Ebony. Oh, you know what? It's under Belle Gardner, because I'm on YouTube with my other account. So it says hi at Homeschool Knockouts. Do y'all see it? I'll put it back in
Yeah, it's
again.
not a private chat. Yeah, it's under Belle.
Yeah,
Gardner.
It's me wearing a hat at the beach, and it says hi at Homeschool Knockouts.
All right, so I
You know
did
what?
put the giveaway to.
I am such a dweeb. Let me because I'm subscribed to you through 2 channels. Let me just go to my YouTube
Oh
channel
wow.
and subscribe from there. You see how rusty I am? But guys, listen, you start messy. That's why I started the Messy Homesteader, my gardening homesteading channel, because when you wait for perfection, you get nothing. I'd rather have something and be messy than have nothing because it's perfect. Of I'd rather have something messy rather than nothing that's perfect. Why is it still loading? You said your
Amen
internet
to
was
that.
going slow too?
Yeah,
You said
mine
your
is
internet.
going slow.
Yeah, so is mine. But I'm going to switch over to my Homeschool Knockouts channel, which I don't know what I was thinking. I should have done that. And then I'll put the email in there as soon as this thing stops, scrolling.
All right, so we got 30 people in here, and we have, I believe, 9
Nice.
entries. Hey, Ruthie. Oh, we have 8
Come
entries.
on,
Okay.
YouTube.
I think in about 2 more minutes we'll draw,
We'll do the
and then
giveaway.
whoever wins,
And it's for a
is
physical
gonna.
copy of the book. It's for a physical copy of the book, not the electronic version. You'll get a nice thick physical copy to hold in your hot little hands. Come on, YouTube.
And I appreciate you reaching out to give me a book as well. I've been keeping tabs of like all the people who came up here, and like I've been reading their books because people have
Look
been
at
sending me books
unbiased.
as well.
Spin it now so I can win. I like that spirit, girl.
Well, shoot,
Oh my
let's
God,
go
it
ahead and
is still
spin.
not letting me on YouTube. That's crazy. Wait, maybe I can
All
do
right,
it
so
from
we
my
got 10
laptop.
entries. Let's best of luck to everybody.
Good luck, y'all.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, Miss T. I'm gonna try to Miss T for T.
Hey, Angie's Bling Bar, how you doing? TZ.
All right, TG.
Congratulations.
Oh, you look cute. Now I can see you on the bigger screen.
So are you able to drop your email address again for her to give you her information?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm on here through homeschool knockouts. Okay, I'm on here now. Okay, so I'm in. So I just put, so drop your email in, and then I'll privately email you, and I'll. Okay, do you see my email? So it's now it says I'm under my homeschool knockout account.
I do not see it. Let me see. Tigsy, do you see it? Is the question.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, it's not showing up.
What, my email's not showing up?
No. Or Tigsy, if you want to email me, I can send her the information because Tigsy has my email address. There it is. Hi@homeschool knockouts. And what's up, coolest gamer?
Okay, so oh hi, cool gamer. Look, I've been ignoring the chat. I see Fresh and Fire. Oh, Soil Sister. Some of y'all don't probably don't remember me, but I know you guys. Oh, JGGS Farms. Hey, brother. Yes.
It's like a YouTube reunion. She's like, I remember.
Know it is. Because when I'm on Left Farmers and Homestead Heart, I'm on my other channel. So you don't see the Messy Homesteader. Just because I have YouTube Premium only on that one channel, so I don't get all the ads. So I'm always on that one. So you guys don't see me as much. But I'm there. I'm around. Yeah, I didn't hear you at the beginning of the live. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been in hibernation, but I'm back. And oh, and to answer one of your questions, Miss T, about coming back to YouTube. Okay, because I was long-winded and I went off on 5 tangents. The homeschooling, I kind of want to put it on autopilot. So I want to build build up the business with the online classes I have coming and more books in the pipeline. But I did the homeschooling because that's what I know and that's where I have my experience in, and I'm an expert in it. But the heart wants what the heart wants. And so, I want to move over into fantasy. So I don't know how that will translate on YouTube. I mean, there are a lot of writers who do it on YouTube. But as far as what I have now, the Messy Homesteader and well, listen, let me tell you, the main reason why I stopped the Messy Homesteader channel was because I have a neighbor who has a drone, and at one of our block parties, we were talking, and he was telling me all the stuff that's in my garden. I was like, well, how do you know I have this tree? Because, oh, looks like my drone flew over. And he said it so casually and like with no shame. I'm like, you basically just climbed over my fence. In my mind, you climbed over my fence illegally and you were in my yard. He knew everything I had. And so he was like, yeah, if SHTF, I'm coming to your place. I'm like, it's gonna be something waiting for you at my place. And I'm like, you know what? I gotta slow my roll because in our area, people overshare. And so someone made a map, I think it's in LA, of all the homes that have fruit trees because there's so much abundance here in California. People have trees, pomegranate trees, oranges, apples, lemons, avocados, and they don't even pick them. And because they get so big, they're 20, 30 years old trees. The trees, pass the property line and overhang like the sidewalks and stuff. So, according to law, you have free access to that. Anything over your property line, anybody, is a fair game. And so some person made this app of all the fruit trees in, at least in LA, where you can go and just take from people's trees. And now my house doesn't overhang, but the one next to me does. And when you see that house, you see my house. So it's down now, but people get desperate. They remember, didn't that house have this and that? And I say, you know what? if I go back, I will go back to just doing stuff inside the house, like making bread and canning and fermenting. But I don't want to show my yard because I'm not trying to, pull my tool out on anybody. So it's,
Okay, amen to that. We
because
don't
I'm
want
in a
you to have to
dense
pull it.
area. Yeah, it's dense here and people don't prepare. So they're coming for your stuff. So I don't know. I'm thinking about that. I probably won't come back. I don't know. But the writing, I'm gonna spend my time with that, building my backlist. So when I'm 60 and stuff, because I did 1% a day, I'll have a catalog and I can start living off of that. Because that's my retirement.
Okay. Yeah, thank you again, TZ. And Fresh said, I feel you, Ebony. Stuff has gotten a little weird with neighbors. We just got cameras all around, so don't try it over here either,
I
suckers.
know, suckers.
Let me see.
People are weird, and now with everything that's happening, you're gonna see a new level of weirdness and shenanigans. So you gotta do what you gotta do. But someone said someone LGG has a privacy problem as well. Yeah, people have no shame. They're very bold. And times aren't bad right now. It's not like people are in bread lines and there's no electricity and people are acting crazy. So can you imagine when, you got rolling blackouts or there's, another disaster or natural disaster, that comes through?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have a friend that just lets her fruit fall and rot. I'm encouraging her to bag it up and take it to the church. That's a
And
good
they
idea.
It is, and they have a number of churches around here that do that, but they're understaffed now, and it's so people, and it's so hurtful because you just see all like this one tree, this pomegranate probably has like 100 pomegranates. The tree is so old, and it's an old lady. I know her kids are just waiting for her to die, and she'll yell at you if you try to grab. Look, this is her property line right here. The tree is over here almost to the street. This is the sidewalk. This is the street. The tree is so big. The tree is like way over here. This is her property line. You could be walking on the sidewalk, just walking your dog, be a pomegranate over your head. If you try to grab it, she'd be sitting out on her little porch, just rocking back and forth because no one talks to her because she's old and mean. She's just waiting for you to grab a pomegranate so she can yell at you. But it's wasteful. It's a lot of waste, and there doesn't need to be at all. So I feel you on that one. And Soil Sister says a violation of private property.
Mm-hmm.
No, but the law is it's the airspace rights. So anything past your property line is now the property of the city. It's an ordinance, so it belongs to the city. And the city says, since the city kind of gets annoyed because now they're obligated to maintain that property. Like when a tree is getting so big, it's on the telephone poles or it's obstructing, maybe it's so big that it's covering the stop sign or the traffic light or the telephone pole, all the wires. The city is obligated to cut that, even though the tree originated on your property. Now they have to maintain that open space, and they don't like that. So they'll be like, don't come to us, if someone takes from your tree.
Oh yeah, she was referring to the drone as an invasion of privacy.
Oh, I'm sorry. You gotta cut me off, Miss T. You see how I went on that long just bumping my gums. Yeah, that drone. I don't even know what the law is on that. I need to look that up. But it's really invasive. And someone told me they have these tarps, like the canopies, the shade canopies, but they have like a kind of reflective something one that has, what is it that it's not like a Faraday cage, but it's like the RFID, those little pouches you put your keys in to protect from like an EMF, but they have that now embedded in these canopies that you put up in your backyard. So the drone, you know how you get those dead spots when you're on your phone, when you're driving down the street? It would do that. It will do that for the drone. So if the drone goes over your yard, the video will cut. They won't see anything. But then that's a red flag, right? Because if I see that, if I have a drone, I'm like, oh, they must really have something.
Let me see here. Sorry about that. Just people in the comments are also wanting a text message of your information. Okay. But yeah,
A
thank
text.
you again for coming in. I've been responding back to the text messages and emails, and she dropped her email a couple of times too. The book will more than likely be on sale on Monday at the latest.
Okay, so the book is live right now. You can actually buy the book, but it's at its regular price. The sale price will be in my at the latest. The sale price, which will be $9.99, will be on Monday. But it's up to Amazon. When you make a change to a price, Amazon takes some time to approve it. It's from 1 hour to 72 hours. So it could be, as far as I know, it could be changed right now. So if you want it at the $9.99, definitely by Monday it will be changed, but you can look for it throughout the weekend if you want the sales price. If you go to my YouTube channel, Homeschool Knockouts, I will have, you have my email, all kinds of ways to contact me. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and then you have my email in the chat. So if you have any questions, you can definitely email me. That's probably the best way with the email right now as I transition back onto social media. So everything looks kind of slow right now, but this weekend I will be back on all the social media and you can get all your information then.
All right. Well, thank you again, and thank you everybody for
Thank you
being
for
here.
having me.
Oh, not a problem. And everybody have a safe weekend, and we will be back on the show on Monday. Or I will be back on the show on Monday.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for all of you guys in the chat for your great questions. Congratulations to, how do you say your name? Is it
Tigsy,
Tiggs? What is
Tigsy,
it?
Tigsy.
Tixie?
Mm-hmm.
Tixie? Congratulations to you. We'll get that book out to you promptly. And it's good seeing some familiar faces from back in the day. And thank you for your support. And just know that, if you want to do something, no matter how lofty you think your goal is, just think of it in bite-sized pieces and you can get it done. Okay. The bite size won't kill you. And the next thing you know, you look up and you have accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. Okay. So you ain't got to do too much. Just be consistent. That's the key.
Love it, love it, love it. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Miss T.